So most men wait until they are years deep into a relationship to find out or determine if the woman they chose is actually loyal to them. And by then, the damage is already done. You've wasted time, resources, and emotional energy on the wrong person. Now, the common belief is that loyalty is binary. She either cheats or she doesn't. Most guys think that as long as she isn't sleeping with someone else, she's loyal. But here's the thing, that is a really dangerous misconception. Loyalty isn't just about sexual fidelity. It's really a reflection of her character, her respect for you, and her ability to delay gratification. So, if you're waiting for a cheating event to test her loyalty, you've basically already lost. My entire goal is to help you choose the right woman so you never have to wait a single second on the wrong one. And to do that, you need to be able to spot character flaws before they become your problem. For the past 5 years, I've helped hundreds of men, built a community of over 37,000 followers, and even published more than 80 essays to help men like you improve their relationships and overall dating game. And today I'm going to walk you through 6 specific ways to test her loyalty. And don't worry, these aren't manipulative mind games or traps to get her to comply. These are simple methods of observation that will really reveal exactly who she is. So, the first thing you need to look at, and this is really the second most important indicator of long term relationship success, is how she reacts when you tell her no. Because a woman's respect for your boundaries is a direct reflection of her ability to prioritize the relationship over her own selfish impulses. And honestly, if she can't respect a small boundary right now, she's not going to respect the boundaries of your marriage or commitment later on, should you want to pursue her. So you need to set a boundary regarding your time, your social life, or your values, because these are indispensable to your own success and your sanity. For example, if you have a routine where you work on your business on Friday nights for 3 hours, and she always insists on getting you to go out with her friends instead, you need to know how to hold the line. Now, you have to pay close attention to her reactions. Does she really accept it and respect your decision? Or does she try to guilt trip you or criticize you for making that choice? If she is using deceit, crying, or the silent treatment to bend your rules consistently to play with your emotional state, the foundations of that relationship will be built on sand, because no matter how good of a man you are to her, she will be a pain in the ass. And ultimately, respect for boundaries equals respect for you directly. And if she tries to punish you for having a backbone in any given situation, she isn't loyal to you. She's loyal to her own gratification. If you thought the boundary test was critical to choosing a woman, this next point is really the single most important factor in this entire video. And honestly, if you get this wrong, none of the other tests really matter, because you need to look at value alignment over everything else. Because the ultimate loyalty test isn't a trap or trying to catch her in a lie. It's really just seeing if your long term goals and moral compasses actually point in the same direction. Because otherwise, you're not really on the same level of navigation, which will result in confusion in that relationship. So, you need to stop looking at how much she likes you and start looking at what she values before she was interested in you. Does she prioritize family, honesty, and integrity in her own life, independent of you? If you value a quiet, traditional life and she values social climbing and constant partying, you know she's going to eventually betray you. Not because she hates you or because she's a bad person, but because her loyalty is really to a lifestyle that you can't even provide for her. This matters because you can't game a woman into loyalty if her values clash with yours fundamentally. If the values don't align at the base level, no amount of frame or boundary setting is going to create loyalty. You're basically fighting a losing battle against her conflicting nature. So, once you've established that her values might align with yours, you have to look at how she handles the external world. This is how she shows up to other people. You really need to observe her reaction to temptation indirectly. And you don't need to hire a honey trap or create a fake profile to test her. The world will test her for you every single day without you having to do much. So here's how you watch for this. When a waiter flirts with her, or when she gets hit on at the bar, or posts a photo online, Is she shutting it down? Is she shutting it down with grace or egging it on because she gets a kick out of it? If she is leaving the door slightly open for external male validation, you may be dealing with the wrong woman because a loyal woman views external validation as extra noise and can actually handle her impulses maturely. But a disloyal woman views it as an oxygen mask that she must wear when she is not with you. So if she actively seeks validation from other men or even fails to set boundaries with them because she doesn't want to be rude or because she's sweet, that's a massive red flag, man, because true loyalty is shown through a level of consistency with what she values and respects, not just behaving when you're in her close presence. Which brings us to the next point, which really reveals her maturity as a woman. You know, it's easy for a woman to be loyal and attentive when you're right there entertaining her and being her source of attention. But the real test of character is what happens when you pull back and withdraw your attention completely. You will have times where you're busy, maybe with work trips, travel, or just time with your friends. But you need to give her space without being in constant communication. Even that will give you enough context to understand her character. You have to, again, watch her reactions. If she shows trust and puts in effort to reconnect with you, you know she is interested in you enough to take the initiative. She's actually thinking about you, you know? But if she becomes overly clingy, insecure, and manipulative as a result, or trying to punish you for not being around, you are dealing with her entitlement issues realistically. And women who respond to your absence with kindness and warmth demonstrate a different kind of emotional maturity. And women who respond with panic or by seeking attention elsewhere are showing you that their loyalty is simply conditional on their given emotion, which means she will abandon ship sooner or later when you don't serve her purpose. So let's assume the woman you're dating passes all of these tests. You still need to look at something more subtle but really telling. You need to observe how she treats people who can do absolutely nothing for her. Let's be real, loyalty is often a reflection of a person's general character. And if she is disloyal or disrespectful to other people, it's only a matter of time before she treats you in the exact same way. So imagine you went for a dinner with her, and half the time you spend there, she is either judging waiters for their poor service, gossiping about other men, or complaining about every little inconvenience that makes itself present to her. How do you think that reflects on her character? Of course, this is an extreme example, but whether you like it or not, she's going to be guilty of these exact same tendencies with you. And I'll tell you something about ungrateful women. They have an arrogance about them that makes them absolutely intolerable in relationships. I know because I've had this experience. And you better watch out for that because it will chip away at your general stability. And always watch for her behavior because that is the most reliable indicator of her motives. Finally, we have the most tactical day to day test you can run. You really need to introduce minor low stakes tests that are intended to reveal how reliable she is. So you basically want to see if her word means anything without waiting for a crisis to happen. So what you want to do is ask her to do something very minor for you, like a small favor, you know? Or just ask her for an honest opinion on a very trivial topic. Maybe you ask her to mail a letter or just be ready at a specific time. I just want you to evaluate how often she follows through, how often she keeps small promises, and how often she forgets, makes excuses, and laughs it off to discount her behavior. In general, women can be very fickle because of their irregular emotions, but there is a difference between a woman who can own up to her faults and one who always has an excuse without taking any initiative. Consistent reliability in small things really predicts loyalty in bigger, high stakes situations, like children and marriage. And if she can't be loyal to her own word regarding a 7 p.m. dinner reservation, she's not going to be loyal to her wedding vows when things get difficult and she has to sit in the mud with you. So, to summarize, vetting a woman isn't really about being paranoid. You have to trust but verify, right? So give her the benefit of the doubt. But it's also about being observant. You need to set boundaries to test her respect, and you must ensure that your values align so that you aren't constantly fighting her nature. The pain of a breakup or a divorce is often the result of ignoring these signs in the first 6 months. So, by applying these preventive measures, you really solve the problem of wasting time on the wrong woman. And you stop gambling with your future and start making actual rational decisions based on character rather than just beauty alone. Because it's easy for us men to be enticed by a woman's beauty, and we conflate it with her beauty of character, but they are actually separate things. A woman's character is more rare, especially if it's very pure, whereas opposed to having just physical beauty alone. Well, that's very common, and women do all kinds of things to elevate that, but it's not reflective of their true identity and their true character. So if she passes these tests naturally, you found someone worth investing in. And if she fails, you've saved yourself a lifetime of headache, basically. So you've dodged a bullet. Anyways, if you have any questions, let me know of your experiences. I'm really curious to hear them. And until then, I'll catch you next time. Take care.